City on a Hill can search online.
I'm Lola.
And I'm Jamie.
Today we're going to be talking about important visitors at Christmas.
But that will be after a time of worship.
Last week, we heard about what happened around the time Jesus was born. Do you remember? An angel had told the shepherds who was born and where he was born. That was in Bethlehem. So the shepherds went to Bethlehem and they saw the child that was born, and everything that the angel had said, that is what they saw. They were so happy and they broadcasted this news to everybody after their visit. Today, we're going to talk about another set of people who visited Jesus. This can be found in the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 2. Now, Jesus was born in Bethlehem at a time when King Herod reigned as king. At the time, some wise men came from the east to Jerusalem. Now, let me just tell you about these wise men. They were known as Magi, and they were very important people because they were wealthy, rich, influential, and when they said a thing or two, people would listen and usually obey. they could say a thing or two that would either change governments or plot the course of a government. Whatever it is, these guys were influential. They were very important personalities. Now, the caravan in which they were traveling would have had loads of people because, of course, they would be traveling with riches, so they would have had to have had guards, they would have had to have servants, then there would have been loads of camels, there'd probably be carriages. There would have been loads of people, and the whole place would be rowdy. And it was this lot that landed in Jerusalem. And yes, Jerusalem was rowdy. All those living in Jerusalem were itching to hear what these wise men, what these Magi had to say. And oh, did they say something. They asked, "Where is he who is born King of the Jews? For we saw his star in the east, and we have come to worship him." Wow. Born King of the Jews? But King Herod was king. This question bothered King Herod because he knew that he was king. It also bothered other people in Jerusalem. So what Herod did was to gather all the chief priests and the scribes together, and he asked them to go and find out where this child would be born. You know, this information was available because it had been written down. There was a prophet named Micah who had prophesied where this child was to be born. And this is what he said. "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." When Herod heard this, he secretly called the Magi and asked them exactly when it was that star appeared. He then sent them off to Bethlehem and said to them that they should bring news back as to where they find this child so that he also could go and worship him. Do you think that King Herod would really have gone to Bethlehem to worship the child king? Anyway, the Magi went off to Bethlehem, and then something happened. That star that they had seen in the east reappeared and guided them to the house that the child was in. On getting to the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and then they fell down and worshipped him, and then opened up the treasures that they had brought for him. They had brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were costly gifts. So these were the other set of people who came to see Jesus. In this particular case, these people broadcasted the birth of Jesus without having seen him, whereas the shepherds broadcasted the birth of Jesus after having seen him. Whether the news of his birth was broadcasted before being seen or after being seen, we know that Jesus Christ was born. And we recognize, acknowledge, and celebrate his birth, because that is the reason for the season today. have a happy Christmas. And that's the end of the story.
Hello! Merry Christmas, everybody! Isn't it exciting? One more sleep. Now, it occurred to me after last week when we made these little finger puppets that it would be very easy to turn those into a Christmas tree decoration by just adding a little loop of wool on the top. But also this week, I have made some other Christmas tree decorations. Look, it's our three wise men, or Magi, and these are going to look really good hung on my tree. So if you've got a bit of time today, why not just make a few extra decorations to remind us of today's Bible story? So for this, you need some cardboard. You can see where I've already cut out some circles. This was just a cereal box. And you need something to draw around to make a circle. So this size of cup has made this size of wise man, which is about right, I think, for a Christmas tree. So you want to put that on there, draw around it, cut the circle out, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut the circle in half, because actually each one can make two wise men. We'll be folding it around like this, and you're going to need a stapler to staple it at the end. So I'm going to show you on this bigger one how to decorate it. So the first thing to do is to get a piece of wool or string and make it into a loop that's the length that you want for hanging on your tree. And we're going to stick that in the middle at the top on the side that you're going to have as the inside. Okay, so the coloured side is going to be the inside, and this flat edge, this is the top, because when we bend it round into the cone, that's going to become our point. So you can see now, when I bend this round, that loop's going to stick out the top as the hanger. Next, we're going to do our colouring in. Much better to do this while it's flat. So, first of all, we're going to draw in a semicircle at the top, and we're going to colour that in. And this is going to be our wise man's hat, or crown, or turban, whatever you want it to be. And you might think this is a bit of a funny shape, but it's okay. When we bend it round, that's going to turn into a circle going right round our cone. So there we are, there's his turban. The next thing is we'll draw his hair coming out from underneath, okay, where it's coming out from under his crown or under his turban, and you can give him whatever kind of hair you want. I'm giving this one black curly hair. And again, we're going to follow right the way around that semicircle. Then we're going to put in his face, and you can decide whether you want to give him a beard or not a beard. Okay, I've given this one a sort of a black beard. There we are. And I'll draw curly hair going up the side. There we are. Okay, so this is our wise man's face and hair, and that's how he's going to look. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw in the shape of his coat, and this is a slightly funny shape. So we're going to come, you can see from this side, we're going to come down and then in for his sleeve, and then down like that. So you come down, in for where his sleeve would be, and then down again to the bottom of his robe. And then we can put in his hands like that, and then whatever gift this one is holding, gold, frankincense, or myrrh, just like that. And then all we need to do is colour him in, and you can decide what colour you want his coat to be and what colour you want the garment that he's wearing underneath, his robe, I suppose, to be. Okay, so look there, he's got a green robe. Now I'm going to give him a purple coat. I'm just doing this very roughly so you can see to match. To match his turban. Now, I've done that in a very scribbly way, but you'd obviously do it nicely. And finally, I'm going to colour in the box. This is meant to be a silver casket containing the myrrh, so I've coloured it in grey. There we are. and we bend it round, I'll do this in a minute, and staple it. Now, I just want you to look at the shape of his coat, because another idea I had is that instead of drawing it, we could cut this out of wrapping paper. There's usually a lot of spare scraps of wrapping paper hanging around at this time of year. So what you would need to do is take your piece of cardboard, put the wrapping paper on it, draw around it, and cut out a piece of that shape. And then what we're going to do is just cut out the coat shape. So we're coming round for the collar and then down at each side for the sleeves. So I'll just cut these out and then we'll stick them on and I'll show you how that would work. So here's one side of his coat. So this is going to be in two pieces. Here's the other side. I don't need that middle piece. Now here we've got a wise man that I've already started to colour in underneath, but I've left all the section of his coat blank. So I'm going to just take this and make sure I match it up with the curve. There we go. And then this one on the other side. Okay, so here's his red starry coat. And now I've done that, I can just finish drawing in his hands coming out where his sleeves would be and his gift. I'll finish the purple off for his underneath robe and I'll colour in his gift. I think I'm going to colour this in orange. There we are. Not sure which gift that is, if that's the gold, the frankincense or the myrrh. There we go. So now for each of them I can fold them round, overlap the cardboard at the back, and then we'll just staple that down. So here's my big wise man. For my smaller one, let's just put on his hanger. There we go. We'll fold him round. We'll staple him as well. And here we are. Lots of lovely wise men to hang on my Christmas tree. And this is going to be great. Because in all the excitement tomorrow, I really want to remember Jesus and the visitors who came to worship Jesus. Well, I hope you have a brilliant Christmas. I can't wait to see you next week for Hogmanay. Bye for now.
Do you know that song?
What song?
The one that goes, "We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we travel so far."
Yes, I know that song.
My question is, why does it say three kings? In some stories, it says three wise men, whereas in the Bible, it doesn't say anything about three wise men. It says wise men, or Magi.
I know, but those stories are not accurate. It may say three wise men because three gifts were given: gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Oh, okay, that could be a reason. Another thing, Herod must have been really shaken up, a bit uncomfortable to hear what the wise men asked him. Where is he that has been born King of the Jews?
I know what you mean, especially that the question was asked in front of everyone so everyone could hear. They didn't go privately to Herod to ask him.
Ouch! And Herod was king. Well, he knew where to get the answer for their question.
He did, because the answer was given hundreds of years before by Prophet Micah. He did what he needed to do by getting people to search through the Bible to get the answer.
Yep, Jesus, the King of the Jews, was born in Bethlehem. Even though the prophecy said King of Jews, he's also our King today, the Saviour who was born in the little town of Bethlehem.
That's right. That's it for this week.
Till next time, bye!